Friends, and to follow us live through the live stream facilities that we've decided to put at your disposal. We are now receiving His Excellency Dr. Elham Mahmood Ibrahim. She is the Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy of the African Union, and she has come here to address you on the issue of infrastructure and its contribution to human rights and women's rights in the context of Agenda 2063. What I will do will be to give her the opportunity to introduce the subject matter, and then we can take some few questions if we have. Thank you, Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Esther, and good afternoon. It's really my pleasure, as usual. Each summit we meet and discuss and exchange views even. So for today, I think the issue of human rights and infrastructure. Usually when we talk about human rights, we just think about political rights. But I think we cannot even use our political rights if we don't have our socio and economic rights, where the infrastructure comes in. If we are looking for the basic rights even, to have a house, to have a food, to have good health conditions, we cannot have any of this without infrastructure. And I mean by infrastructure the means of transport, energy, information and communication technologies, water. So I think this role is very clear, and its importance is very clear also. And just to mention, if we have improved infrastructure in our continent, this means that we can add 2% to our GDP growth rate annually. And also, the improved infrastructure can improve our productivity by 40%. This is in general. So what about women? I think women, if we can say they are 50% of the population in our continent, they are also taking care of the other 50% of the population. So it's important to give them and secure for them all their rights. And I'm here concentrating on the socio-economic rights. What about women in rural areas? As we all know, 70% of our population live in rural areas. If we are talking about transport, it's not only the roads and railways in our cities or between our cities or even between our regions. We should take care also of our rural road networks, where the rural people, especially women who are usually the traders who are taking care of farming processes and also taking care of trading with these products. And usually they carry their products and it's still there. They carry the products and go looking for markets. If there are no suitable and convenient roads, they cannot do their job. That's why we are concentrating on the role of infrastructure in securing the women's rights. We go back to the energy. Energy is a basic need, I can say, because without energy, our women, especially again in rural areas, will keep using the wood to cook and to have the warm water. They will not find any mean for even educating themselves or find the opportunity to be connected and communicated with the outside world. So energy is needed. What about information and communication technology? It's now, I think, one also of the basic needs. Who of us cannot or can live without his phone? When we go to any place, the first question we ask is there Wi-Fi? Yes. So I think, and this can play really an important role in our lives. I mean, also at rural areas where the women and others can communicate and can do their business without even need to move from here or there. So this is the infrastructure role. What we are doing, how our continent is improving in this direction. Today, really, I want to just mention some concrete projects and concrete actions that are taken by the African Union Commission. Because always we are faced with, no, we are not doing anything in the continent, still we need the political commitment, still we need to work together. No, I can tell you, there is a lot going on in the continent. If, for example, I take the energy sector, for now, there are 4 main corridors for energy or for power trade in the continent. I just can mention just the titles of these corridors. With some concrete figures about it. First one is the North African Power Transmission Corridor. I mean the transmission lines that connects different points of generation. This corridor length is 2,700 kilometers, linking Morocco to Egypt through Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya, including enforcement of current transmission lines that in place, and also adding more. The second one is the North-South Power Transmission Corridor. This is a 8,000 kilometer transmission line. It's again from from Egypt in the north, through Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, Zambia, and Zimbabwe to South Africa. This means that we are connecting, or we are going parallel to Cairo Cape transport corridor. There are parts already ongoing and about to finish, like Ethiopia-Kenya line. It's the most advanced one, and funds for the construction have been secured. Also, the Zambia, Tanzania, Kenya, and Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, Namibia interconnection. Both projects are in progress. The third corridor is West Africa Power Transmission Corridor. This is a 2,000 kilometer power line along the coast connecting Nigeria to Guinea with the existing Ghana-Nigeria line. It's formed for the following interconnections. It has different sectors. Ghana, Burkina Faso, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Guinea, Mali. So most of these parts is already financed, and some of them will be not launched, just finished very soon. The last one is the Central Africa Power Interconnection. And this is mainly for using the potential generated power from Inga 3 and the following parts of Inga site. This is just an example on the energy sector. For transport, there is also many good examples for the projects going on. And those who were with us when we had PIDA week last November, where we accompanied all the media team to the project site. It is a highway between 5 countries in West Africa. It's from Lagos up to Abidjan, passing through the other countries. So this project is really a very good example for the political commitment of our leaders to have this kind of regional projects, because the leaders of the 5 countries, they sat together, they signed the agreement to have this highway with all the facilities to facilitate the movement of people and goods through this highway, even these points for customs and all these administrative issues. They discussed it and they agreed to have it, even if a car or truck moving through the whole corridor, they can easily get the information from one point to another, and no need for waiting for this process and to take time. And in this regard, I can tell you that at the African Union Commission, we are now developing a project for what we call smart corridors. What is this smart corridors? Because now we are hearing this word smart everywhere. We mean that if a truck or a person traveling from city X in each country and moving to another country, so all the information of this passenger or of this truck can be taken only once, and then easily to be communicated through the information system to the next stop in the next country, and so on. So no need each time you go and you submit your documents to be checked and so on. So it will be once. So this is a proposal or a study we are about to finalize it at the African Union. And it is not only for corridors, but it is also planned to have it for the ports, for the ships. And we can imagine how long a ship can wait in the port to get all these administrative issues to be done. A second example or project that is going on, what is happening here in East Africa between Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, where there is the railways project, the road projects, and it's also another example for the commitment of this kind of regional projects. You can imagine that they are meeting even every month to follow up and to know if the presidents are doing that on their level. So what about the ministers and the executives level? We can imagine. One of the good examples in the information and communication technology sector is also, I think the East Africa region is really a good example in many areas. The one SIM card that is used in 4 countries now, and it's really a good example. It's one of Smart Africa projects or initiatives, and we hope that more countries will join very soon, because I myself, I travel to many countries, and also this issue of roaming and the cost and the strength of the network is one of the problems. To have this kind of one network for the continent or for part of the continent, I think it's something we have to congratulate and appreciate what is happening. These are some of the examples. I may also mention one of our projects that led by the African Union Commission, because the other projects I mentioned, it's led by our member states. But this one in the geothermal area. You know, in East Africa region, we have very high potential for the geothermal energy, which can be used for generating electricity or even for other uses. We have a potential of more than 15,000 megawatt, and we can imagine how huge it is. What we did in the African Union, with the support of some of our partners, we created a facility, a fund that can support the risky phases of this kind of projects. Why we are saying risky? Because, you know, for geothermal, at the beginning, when we start the surface studies or we start the testing wells, we are not sure that there is enough and qualified steam that can be used in the generation. So that's why the African Union Commission, we created this fund which support the developers, even if they are private or public sector, to do the surface studies and also to drill these wells at the beginning. We give them grants that ranges from 40% of the cost up to 80%. Up till now, we have 17 projects. They got support from the facility. And the amount we give to these projects is about, up till now, about $60 million US. And still there are more money available for more projects in this sector. I think this is what I want just to mention for now. And if there is any question, I think it can create more information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency Dr. Elham Mahmood Ibrahim. You've presented in a nutshell an overview of the activities undertaken under your department, and we can see that it's a very huge department dealing with very sensitive technical issues. We'll give the floor now to the journalists who are here to ask questions, and we'll ask the Commissioner to address those questions. So I can see 2 hands. Can we have the mic, please? Yes, start from behind.
Hello, thank you
Yourself
very much.
and your media, please.
Okay. My name is Sandra Idosu. I come from Benin Republic, but I work here in Rwanda. I publish a magazine that aims at sensitizing on the importance of excellence of service. My question is concerning what you just discussed on about the importance of ICT for development in Africa. We've seen the trend recently in some African countries where we know, for instance, during elections, they cut off the internet or the telephone for days. And I want to, I would like to have your position as someone sitting up there. Are you aware of it, and how or what can you do to prevent that, or what can you see actually so that internet becomes something that is available for everyone and not just cut because there are elections? Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a second question. Yes. Introduce yourself and your media, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Zhu Xiaobing from China's Xinhua News Agency. I have a question concerning infrastructure, the vision you outlined in the 2063 agenda, which says that Africa aims to for world-class infrastructure such as high-speed railway networks connecting all the capitals and commercial centers, and a universal access to electricity by 2063. And I'm wondering whether it's a vision that's too big to be materialized. And concerning China as an important player in global infrastructural development, and how do you think that the Africa and China can better work together to help Africa achieve that vision? Thank you.
Thank you. Let's first ask the Commissioner to kindly address the two questions, and if there are follow-up questions, we'll take them. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Really an interesting question. But, you know, as usual, everything has its good side and bad side. And it depends on us how we use these tools or even technology or whatever. Yes, it is because we are, if we leave the election issue, let us go back to the exams. And it happens not in one country, in many countries, where the exams can be just in, how we can say it, in some way it is known and the answers is known and it is on Facebook and it is everywhere. So if you are the one who is responsible, what you are going to do? Yes, it is not the, you can respond. It's not the right thing just to cut. But in some situations, you have to do so. I agree with you. It is not the right solution. We should have our precautions and do everything. But it also because we are not behaving right as people using these facilities and these things. I also am interested to know what you will propose, but let me complete and then you can say. For the flagship projects, really thank you for reminding me because I missed this point in my presentation. Yes, we have in our Agenda 2063, in the infrastructure sector, we have 4 flagship projects. One of them is the high-speed rail that connects the capitals and the development centers in the continent. The second is to create the single air transport market in Africa. The third is the development of Inga site for generating electricity. And the fourth is the sustainability of the Pan-African e-network, which is a network. It is in place now. It's for telemedicine and teleeducation. It connects for now 48 countries. And there are thousands of students, more than 19,000 students are using this network for education. Thousands of our doctors and nurses, they are getting some courses, and also they are doing some surgeries and investigations for how we say it, the sick people. You see, sometimes I I lose the word. For our patients, yes, I got it, yes, for the patients to receive them and discuss with them remotely using this network. So the idea now is how to sustain this, the work of this network, how we can use it in conjunction with our e-university or virtual university that we are planning to have it. So these are the 4 flagship projects. Let me go back to our cooperation with China. Yes, we already started discussion with China, especially on the high-speed rail project. Even though we already signed the MOU with China on 3 networks, road networks, the highway networks, and also the road networks. So how China? Yes, we understand and we know that China is playing an important role even now in most of our African countries on the bilateral level. A lot of railway projects, a lot of roads, and many others, even for energy, for different areas. Yes, we welcome this cooperation, and but at the same time, because there is another voice saying that is it only China? No, but if China is working with us to have a win-win process, why not? They are welcome. And also other partners, they are welcome if they respect our plans and our wishes, and we also work together on a win-win basis. No more imposing for anything that is not our wish or our plan. So I think you got my response that we welcome our cooperation with China, and we appreciate what is going on. It's great, and we are expecting more and more to be done, especially within our FOCAC cooperation or system.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Is there any follow-up questions? Are you satisfied with that response? The 2 questions, or you want to have more? Please have the microphone. We just want to be sure that you have your answer
just
correct.
From your personal perspective, how this, any suggestions of how to carry out this cooperation in a much more smooth way, so that we can maximize the gains from this cooperation?
Excellency, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. I think what we are doing now even is not bad. It's going very well. In our level, for example, at the African Union Commission, we have a joint team working together on this project. And I'm sure that is going on for others also. So I think it's okay. We have no problems for now. And I'm sure that we will go more and more.
Do we have any other question to the Commissioner? Okay, can we have the microphone right here? You present yourself and ask your question, please.
Thank you so much. My name is Julius. I'm working for the New Times. My question is a very small question from the 4 flagship projects you are talking about that the African Union Commission has. As the African Union Commission wants to fund most of their projects, can you tell us how much do you want to fund, or what is the targeted amount do you want to invest in these 4 flagship projects? Again, you developed the project called PIDA. Can you also tell us a little bit about that? Thank you.
Excellency, you have the floor.
You see, the first part about how much we want, I don't understand.
Can you repeat your question
Yes,
to
the
clarify
part,
the
for
first
PIDA.
part of your question,
Yes.
please?
I actually wanted to know how much do you want to fund the project, because you said you have the partnership with other countries, like China, but we want to know how much is Africa going to invest in those projects.
Okay. Thank you. If you mean the flagship projects, for the first one, the railway one, it is a huge project, because it is not just to create or to construct a railway between the capitals or the development points in the continent. No, what we are looking for, or it's our vision for this project, is to have it an integrated project. What we mean by that, we mean that we create all the industries needed to contribute and to have the local content of this project from our continent. So it is not a turnkey project that we are looking for. No, we are looking to build the capacities of our engineers, technicians, industries. Also, as you have a railway, for example, you will create new communities, new industrial areas, new markets, new agriculture. It's really a huge project. And we can say it will not be in 10 or 20 years. It may take more. But it doesn't mean that we have to wait all 20 years to have it. No, we can start step by step. At the same time, if I can tell you that from now we started defining what are the skills that we need in the continent. If we want to have scientists in this branch, if we want to have the engineers or the geologists. So all these issues, we started from now, because if we want to build the project after 5 years, we should be ready with our people who can contribute and participate in these projects. So the cost will be in the order of billions, but we will soon start the pre-feasibility study of this project to know exactly what are the routes, what we need, what are exactly the skills that we needed from different categories. So this is the first part. The second, you asked about PIDA. PIDA, it means the Program for Infrastructure Development in Africa. This project, I can proudly say, it is for the first time that in Africa we have a single program for the development in infrastructure in the continent. What was the situation before? That there were so many programs. And what I mean also, it is the regional and continental programs, because it should not conflict with the national ones. What I'm talking about is the regional and continental projects for infrastructure. The situation was like that. There was a program for NIPAD. There was a program for the World Bank. There were some programs for the African Union, we can say. So all these programs, sometimes we were duplicating our efforts, wasting our time. Everyone can come and start putting and creating new program. That's why all these stakeholders, together with NIPAD, regional economic communities, our supporter all the time, and our partner all the time, the Economic Commission, the UN Economic Commission for Africa, and I welcome my brother here. We all worked together, and also the African Development Bank. We worked together to bring all the programs that we have. And we discussed together what is the criteria to set priorities for these projects. And we agreed on the criteria. We evaluated all these projects and master plans we have for infrastructure in the continent, and we set the priorities. Which project is number one, what's number two, and so on. So at the end, we have one project for the continent, which is in line with the programs of all the regional economic communities, because at the end, who will implement these projects? It's not the African Union Commission, it's not NIPAD, it is the regional economic communities and the member states. So it was important to get the consensus and approval of all these stakeholders on it. What areas this program covers? It covers 4 areas: transport, and I mean all modes of transport, energy, ICT, and transboundary water. This program was adopted by the summit in January 2012. Now, this year, we are evaluating or preparing the first midterm report, because I think it's important to mention that we have this program from 2012 when we started up to 2040. And it is divided to 3 phases. The first one ends by 2020, the second from 2020 to 2030, and the third from 2030 to 2040. So this year, we are in the midterm of the first phase, and we are evaluating what projects have been started and implemented, what projects needs to come back and to bring others who are more advanced or need more support. Because, you know, nothing is rigid or nothing is cut in stone. No, every time we have to sit together and evaluate what we did and how we can improve and we can go forward.
Thank you very much, Excellency Dr. Elham Mahmood Ibrahim. With this, we have come. You still have a question? Oh la la, we are okay. Just ask your question quickly because we have our next press conference just immediately after this.
Thank you, Commissioner. Women's rights is human rights, and in this year, as you have explained, your program that's going to take quite a long time. What will women's economic participation be in these big economic deals concerning the rails, concerning these flagship programs? I just don't mean only in small business, but I mean in the real big business. I thank you.
You see, I see that there is no difference between a man and a woman. We both have our brains. We both can do the same job. We have women engineers. We have women scientists. We have women even technicians and workers. So I think the opportunity is there for everyone. But what women should do, I think we should be hard workers. I mean, in our studies, in our schools, in our universities, nobody will help us if we don't help ourselves. I think if there is any smart student, whatever she is, a lady, she is a girl or a boy, if she is smart enough and she is doing her work, she will get everything. So I don't like to see women as weak part of the of the society. No, we are all the same, and we can do whatever men are doing.
Okay. Thank you very much for that press conference, Excellency. I will invite the colleagues from RTV, Rwandan Television, please, to come and get the commissioner to the studio now. Someone should help her. We want to thank the commissioner for coming, for creating time and coming to address the communication people here today. We know how busy the commissioner is, and we really want to appreciate your time. Thank you for coming, Excellency. Okay. Yeah.